Players better games, and PlayStation's unique upscaling technology PSSR hasn't been spoken about that much since launch of the PS5 Pro, but right now it's going to get a big update, actually using a fully updated algorithm, a new API, improving image quality while reducing memory and GPU load, and this means that it's going to be a huge improvement of performance on your PS5 Pro. It unlocks your system to a whole new realm of capabilities, and it brings a lot more benefits than you think. And we got a lot to talk about today, boys, but of course before we get into it, I'd really appreciate it if you could just smash that like button and hit that subscribe bell, as it really does help me out for the YouTube algorithm. And without further ado, let's get right into it. So PlayStation's unique upscaling technology is going to get a big update, better communication between engineers, updated documentation, and better debugging tools all point to big improvements in performance, clearer images, and fewer artifacts on screen while playing your favorite game. From what we know so far, PSSR 2 appears to be one of the biggest changes to the platform's rendering process since PSSR was added to the PS5 Pro back at launch. The internal name behind PSSR 2 turns out to be MFSR 2, which stands for Multi-Frame Super Resolution 2, and this was written in the updated internal documents, but people who work on PSSR use this term for it behind the scenes. The fact that MFSR 2 actually is showing up in new papers strongly backs up earlier leaks that I did report on this channel. You should be subscribed. I don't miss with these leaks, but PSSR 2 isn't a small update, it's a major update for the PSSR system's core parts entirely, and a completely updated algorithm and new API has the potential to do all these things you see on screen right now, even if it's something small like lowering memory usage, or something huge like enhancing picture quality in every mode you're playing in. These changes are gonna make huge impacts on the performance of the games that we will talk about in a bit, but think about it like this: if PlayStation is making a leap like FSR 3 to FSR 4, it's not just going to be an update, it's actually going to be a big step forward over a generation rather than a quick fix. So since the API is still new, game makers have to carefully patch their games to work with PSSR 2, and it won't just be a switch on automatic system level update. Developers will decide if it ultimately makes sense for them to update a game, if it will yield more results in the future, stuff like that, but I would imagine that not every game gets it right away. It might take a while, and I'd imagine that not every game gets it, period. Cardi B. Back to a serious note, one more important thing that the documentation says is that FSR 3 and FSR 4 are still mentioned separately from PSSR, and Sony has no plans to switch from PSSR to AMD's FSR. Instead, the company will apparently keep working on PSSR 2 and PSSR 3 and beyond, which will be its own way to upscaling that is designed to work best with PlayStation hardware, so they're actually going up against FSR at this point. But apparently AMD will make the PS5 Pro work with FSR 4 next year, which is great news, but Sony wants PSSR 2 to be as good or even better than FSR 4, and the goal is clear. PlayStation doesn't want to follow AMD's upscaling plan, and it wants a technology stack that works within its own ecosystem. When PSSR 2 comes out early next year, all games that get the right fixes will be noticeably better. You're gonna see improvements like better picture quality, less shimmering and artifacting, more stable movement, using less memory, and processing way faster on the GPU. And Sony is directly responding to public complaints, negative reviews, and well-known video breakdowns that show that PSSR isn't always reliable, but the business is taking the problem very seriously, it seems, and giving workers more tools to fix it. And now that PSSR 2 is ready to go up against FSR 4 and DLSS 4 class methods, the future of PlayStation's upscaling looks a whole lot brighter than it did a year ago, and on top of that, they have introduced new debugging tools that strengthen PSSR support, overall resulting in fewer bugs, more consistent upscaling, and faster gains across all patched games. And with the new tools they have, Sony hopes to significantly reduce PSSR problems starting next year. And that's a lot to look forward to concerning PlayStation. Let me know what you think about all of this down in the comments below. Click subscribe. Okay, bye.